Watching the ABN network. No, we're not abnormal.
Hey, welcome back to the Low Effort Gamer Show. Today we'll be talking about Miner 2049er. This was a 1982 release by Big Five Software, which was a Southern California company founded by a couple of high school students. The game was primarily written by Bill Hogue, who was one of the co-founders of Big Five. It was released on Commodore 64, Atari 8-bit, Intellivision, Atari 2600, and even got an enhanced port for the Game Boy. The game's primary platform was the Atari 8-bit, and this version I'm playing is on the Atari 50th Anniversary Collection. It was just released for the Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I'm playing it on the Switch. So, in this game, which is similar to Donkey Kong, you play as Bounty Bob, who must climb up a platform structure, mining ore out of the floors while avoiding radioactive beasts and other hazards. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. This is the intro. At the end of it has the address for Big Five, which I imagine is now long defunct. Fun fact, Clementine had a lot of verses in them, some of which were kind of raunchy, and we think of it as a kid's song. So this is the first level. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. It superficially looks like Donkey Kong, but Miner 2049 honestly has as much in common with Pac-Man as it does with Donkey Kong. Instead of just finding the fastest way to the top, you have to clear every section of the floor. The power-ups only last for a few seconds. If you touch the monsters while they're flashing, then you die a horrible radioactive death. If nothing else, we owe Bill Hogue a debt of gratitude for alerting the world about the dangers of radiation poisoning. In this level, slides are introduced. You have to learn how to negotiate slides so you don't end up going down slides without intending to, because oftentimes that can lead you to disaster. At the very least, it can slow down your progress through a level, and then just if you look at the top, there's a bonus timer. If that goes down to 0, then you lose life. And the clock ticks a lot faster than you think it does. This level introduces teleporters. On the computer versions, you went into a teleporter and pushed the number key to activate the teleporter of your choice. In this version, since there's no keyboard, you have to use a controller to select the teleporter. Get 1 extra life at 10,000 points. That's the only extra life you get in the game. It's not one of those that gives you an extra life every 10,000 points, so you can have a total of 4 lives. And this game is very, very tough. So at this point I started using save states. That's how the save states work in this version of Miner 2049er. There are 10 levels total, and they get increasingly tougher as you progress through the game. This one's called lily pads, which you have to jump from platform to platform. At this point, the game assumes that you have a grasp of how far Bounty Bob can jump, and more importantly, how far he can fall without dying. So I have an enemy in front of me, and I have a power-up right over my head. Perfect setup, right? Not exactly. When I was 9 years old and did that, that scared me. Radiation deaths in this game are horrible. What I didn't notice is that the stuff in the martini glass was glowing, which means it's radioactive. The instruction manual, which I didn't have when I was a kid, even alludes to the fact that power-up's not safe. It made me distrust any martini glass-shaped power-ups in the game going after this. But, you know, such is life at 9 years old. You know, if you can avoid getting killed by that radioactive martini, you have to deal with all these floating platforms and all these moving platforms, as well as that collection of slides that looks like a candelabra or a menorah. It took me a few times to get through this level. One of the big frustrations of this game is that you can almost complete the level, and if you make one mistake, you have to start the level over again. Thankfully, this game had save states, or it'd be very difficult to get through. Imagine having to start the whole game over again just because you had one difficult jump. You'd think I'd learned after the last time I did that. That one actually took me quite a few tries to get through. Now this level, you have to make a bunch of difficult jumps over a giant tank of radioactive waste. What could possibly go wrong? That time I decided not to even wait to die. Just hit that save state and started right over. Now level 7. That's probably the hardest level in the entire game. I spent a lot of time trying to get a complete run of level 7. It involved a lot of do-overs and a lot of swearing on the level of the Angry Video Game Nerd, which I didn't show because I'm not the Angry Video Game Nerd, so... I made an awful lot of dumb mistakes like this. Basically, what often happened is that when I got killed in a certain part of the level, I'd try to do that part of the level first, wanting to mess up in another part of the level. If I hadn't cut out like 30 minutes of me dying in level 7, this video would be like hour and a half long. That's how bad this was. So, enjoy the next few minutes of embarrassing pratfalls. be more precise, I spent 40 minutes on this level. I think this is the run where I finally made it through the level. Not 100% sure about that, but I think so. Yes, I finally made it through. So the focus of this level is a scissor lift. This level has to be done in a certain order with the scissor lift because it doesn't automatically return to position. See, here I've already screwed up. But basically the idea is to... First thing you want to do is that fast moving little gremlin, you want to grab a power up and get rid of it because otherwise you're never going to get past it. See, that one I goofed up just because I missed one section of floor. Level 9 was actually something of a breather level. The object here is simple. You just have to make your jumps at the right time. It's not really too hard. Now, every time you have to go under all those hydraulic presses. And just in case walking on a hydraulic press wasn't dangerous enough, they seem to have made the heads of the press out of plutonium. Anyway, you just have to watch the patterns of the hydraulic smashers and go under them at the right time. As you can see, they seem to be going down at a rate of 1, 2, 4, and then 3. But other than that, as long as you can make the jumps, you're good. The only other hazard is that if you don't get the if you miss a jump and don't get the power up, then it'll be very difficult to clear that section of floor with the monster still able to kill you. See, nothing too difficult about that one. Now we're at the 10th and final level. This one, the main feature of this level is a cannon. And you have to get TNT out of the TNT shed on the left. Every stick of TNT is a charge of 10, and every charge of 10 means one floor. So basically, you've got to use the TNT to go up each floor, and then when you clear all the ore out of a floor, you have to go down the slide in such a way that you avoid all the monsters. Now the TNT is the only thing on there that turns the monsters vulnerable, but the problem is that it doesn't last long enough for you to reach the monsters while they're vulnerable, so you can't kill the monsters, and that means you have to somehow deal with them. You also have to be very careful only to get the amount of TNT that you need for each floor. If you overload your cannon, you can't get to the floors below. If you really overload the cannon, you're done for because you can't get rid of any excess TNT. So you notice how all the floors in the TNT shed have ore in them. You want to save those for last because you don't want to overload the cannon. Here's where it gets tricky. You have to make sure you go down the slide when all the levels are clear of the monster that's on each floor. Because once you get on the slide, then you're stuck on it till the end. So that's all 10 levels of Miner 2049er. When you complete the 10th level, it starts over at level 1, only it's at a faster speed. There are actually up to 10 speeds in Miner 2049er. I can't imagine completing this game at speed 10 because the radioactive gremlins move very quickly. I think Bounty Bob moves a lot more quickly as well. It's just incredibly fast-paced and hectic. Just for fun, I'm going to show you what happens when you overload the cannon on level 10. Just going to go through and grab every canister of TNT in there. Falls and goes splat on his head. Alright, well that was Miner 2049er. It's a platforming classic from the early days of computer gaming. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe and share. And then I will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. On a computer, you would just type in your name on the keyboard, but again, we don't have a keyboard on the console, so